allowing the event to be what it is so that we can come back to the body. This soft animal body, this vessel that was gifted to us by our ancestors, by spirit, by nature, it's waiting for us to come back home. The more we retell our stories, there's a cocktail of hormones that's released in our bodies.
Right.
So our bodies associate this retelling with the normal. And then as we journey from the bottom up, we also allow this channel from the top down to come and meet in commune because it's an information superhighway.
Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to the Art of Being, a sacred space where we dive into spirituality, healing, manifestation, and all the magic of becoming.
We explore what it means to truly live, to grow, to heal, and to be in this ever-evolving dance between our humanness and our higher selves.
I am Bamzi, a mindset and manifestation coach.
And I'm Joy, a wellness coach. We're so glad you're here. Take a deep breath, settle in, and let's journey together.
Welcome back to the Art of Being, beautiful soul. My guest this week is a trauma healing practitioner, and specifically she uses somatic healing to guide people back to their bodies, right? She teaches people how to get in touch with their bodies, to understand what is happening, because of course trauma is stored in the body. We know that the body keeps the score. So she guides people to get in touch with, what is the body saying, right? Because oftentimes we override what the body is telling us and we go to the mind to make sense of it. That is one of the things that we talk about, right? So when people go to her focus is right now, not the past, not the future, right now, what is happening with you. In her own life, she practices this. She's so in tune with her body. She listens to her body on a moment-to-moment basis, right? So that is one of the things that I admire, and I could sense it. The times that I've interacted with her, she's so in tune, and she's such an example of you are in tune with your body. The way you move through life is so different, right? Because your body is always guiding you. Your body is always communicating with you. It's whether you choose to listen or not. This is one of those episodes where I would encourage you to listen when you're not distracted, right? Because I really want you to pay attention to what is coming up in your body, what sensations are coming up as you're listening to what she's saying. So I hope it resonates with you, and I hope it gets you thinking, about your relationship to your body, right? And if it resonates with you, we would love to hear your feedback. We would love for you to get in touch with us. Let us know what resonated with you and what would you like us to talk about, right? And if you enjoy this episode, please do not forget to like it on YouTube if that's where you're watching. If you're listening on audio, it's always good to rate our podcast on Apple and Spotify. It really, really helps us boost our podcast because these conversations are so important and we want to get them out to as many people as possible. So please make sure to give us that rating. We appreciate you being here. And without further ado, here is my conversation with Wairimu. So welcome to the Art of Being podcast, Wairimu. I'm so excited. How are you feeling? Because we've been talking off camera.
Yeah,
so
we've been talking so much. So my body is alive.
Yeah.
I feel I have this bouncy energy.
Yeah.
And it's very playful and childlike.
Yes, I can sense it.
Yeah,
I
so
think that's what I kept commenting on. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Plus, anyway, I love playing. Playing is how we heal. It's how we learn. And it's how we recover from trauma. So, it's welcome here.
It's so important because it's it takes you back to childlike, how it used to feel like to be a child. If you had a normal childhood where you were allowed to express.
There's nothing like normal. Just let's start from there.
That's why I put the caveat there. For some people, we didn't have, normal childhoods. But for people that had normal childhoods where they were allowed to just explore, be themselves, play, that's what you're trying to bring back, right?
Okay, it's amazing you should say that. But our versions of normal differ from person to person. So really, there's no one unified way of normal. And if you're trying to imply that there are people who are surviving trauma and there are those who are raised well.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, then I get you.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Because normal, I'm referring to if you grew up in in an environment where you were supported, you were loved, you were encouraged to be playful, to explore your interests. You had like emotional support, you know, because I think like a lot of people, you think that you have support because you have material support, because you're being provided for, right? And you have maybe parents in the household, but then your emotions are not being met. You know, there's no one to see you at that level, right? But there are people that grow up in homes where like they are met at that level, right? So maybe the word normal is not the word to use.
Thank
Maybe
you.
like expound on expound on like what I mean.
I feel so good writing my
I'm glad you corrected my language, because
Thank
language
you.
is so important, right?
It is.
But yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like people that were just allowed to flourish and be themselves, and they were met.
And that
Their needs were met, like not just physical, but also like emotional needs. Yeah.
Okay. So I've seen people from the broadest spectrum of what we would term as normal. And in some cases, we imagine that because there's money, then the child is okay. Sometimes you also imagine that as a parent, you know, I'm going to hustle so that I can pay for your school fees and provide for you. And so we leave the child alone. So there are various ways that we all been neglected universally. And that's because of this word, developmental trauma. So there are parts we were left alone with big emotions that we couldn't make sense of. And so our baseline as adults is already a bit shaky. It could be stressed. You know, here the people would come and tell me, "Oh, Wairimu, you know, I don't think I can be as calm as you. I don't believe that." I'm like, "But why?" And then
That's so interesting.
Yeah. And then I tell them, first of all, what you're seeing as calmness is years and years and years of coming back to myself.
Absolutely.
Years and years of learning and unlearning. So when you say that I can't be as calm as you, you're already denying yourself an experience of having a mind that's clear, an experience of having a heart that's open to connection, by the way, not just open, and having a body that you're in tune with. When I say in tune, that's also a practice. It's not something that happens automatically just because we're alive.
Right.
Yeah, so I've seen people from all walks of life, people who have almost nothing, people living below the poverty line, and their children having their emotional needs met.
Absolutely.
I've seen people who are wealthy, like ultra wealthy, and I even wonder if they're Kenyans like me. Yet their children and other members of their households have the emotions are not met.
Right.
They're not received.
Right.
Because of that assumption that I have money, you should be doing well, you should be taken care of by a teacher. A nanny should be here with you. As a parent, I'm not here with you through that.
Yeah.
But really, what I find healing up to date is just being in contact with people.
Yeah.
And I mean physical contact through hugs, you know, when our cheek to cheek. When we are cheek to cheek, first of all, our nervous system perceives that pressure, it perceives temperature, and it perceives the other nervous system.
Yeah.
So we co-regulate.
Yes.
And then I also find it so good because I come from a community that dances.
Yeah.
So when we sing and dance together, we all co-regulate. And through that, our bonds are deepened. And through that deepening, we heal.
Yes.
And even through this dancing and singing, we awaken our throat chakras. We open up what was blocked. We open up our heart. We open up our hips.
Yeah.
And that's how we recover.
Yeah.
There's a big misconception about trauma and trauma healing. And I feel like that's where Spirit is leading me to just share a tiny bit.
Yeah.
Trauma healing is not about undoing the trauma itself. It's about allowing our bodies to unfold, to unfurl, so that whatever is held by our sensitive animal, soft being is released. Because when you don't release that, then it holds on to it. I keep giving an example of the computer. A computer processes requests as they come. So it's this input has come in, so the output must come out. When our bodies receive so much input, they hold it, just as a computer would when you overload it. And then this body is waiting for a time when it feels safer. So it's just holding and saying, you know what, even that breath, we can just hold it. What happens when you hold your breath?
Oh, yeah.
You pass out. And so we need more spaces and more opportunities that we allow ourselves to release. And it's not like consciously as I'm saying it. It's just that space to dance, the space to break bread together, the space to even cry together. Because I mean, it's a good thing to cry.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it purifies our eyes, releases lots of the toxins that are stuck in our tear ducts, and then we feel good after crying.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a good thing, especially for us women.
Yes. Yeah.
So trauma healing is that. It's about us allowing our bodies to experience safety. I could tell you that you're safe, but as long as your nervous system does not perceive safety, then it will not release what it's been holding. So yes, I'm glad that we're having this conversation.
Yeah, I'm so glad. And we jumped right in.
We did. Like we went to the deep end.
But that's what came up. That's what Spirit wanted you to share. And and I do want us to expound on this conversation because that's what we're here to talk about today.
Yes.
But before we do that, I want my audience to understand who Wairimu is. Because, of course, I've interacted with you for,
a while.
I don't want to say it. But yeah, so I understand a little bit of, your story, but I want people that are watching, people that are listening to understand, how did Wairimu come to do this work? Like when did Wairimu know? When did you know that you had gifts of healing other people? And when did you know that that is something that your soul is calling you to do and that is part of your soul contract in this lifetime?
I like that. My heart just swelled with joy.
Yeah.
And a memory came up. But let me begin my intros. Thank you for grounding me.
Yeah.
So, hi everyone. My name is Wairimu. I'm an Agekoyo woman, so it's Wairimu. Wairimu, Agekoyo medicine woman, a trauma healing practitioner who is now specializing in somatic therapy or somatic work. And this has been a calling of a lifetime, if I could say so myself.
Right.
Because what came up for me just now is the first ever crisis I experienced, like as a child, was my parents' separation. That I feel like it broke me. It broke the idea I had of family. It broke the perception I had of my parents. And I always wondered, is it because of me?
Right.
As a child.
Right.
Because
how old were you?
I think I was 5 years old, 5, 6, thereabout. And as a child, when you look at your parent, when they look at you, there's a bonding that happens, and that lessens pain in your body. And so when I looked and I could find my mom, and then looked again and could find my dad, I was wondering, is there something wrong with me? And this is something that very many people struggle with. Anyway, my story didn't end there because I was adopted by my grandma, my paternal grandma. And the environment itself, it made me feel welcome, like I'm at home. I was raised by avocado trees.
I love that.
Yeah, and I enjoyed spending time in nature. In fact, my grandma used to chase me out of the house during the day. She'd say, so the house is only for spending the night sleeping, not for staying in the whole day.
Yeah.
And I appreciated that because I now know what she meant.
Right.
In the mornings, she'd send me outside and tell me, okay, go look if there's dew on the grass, and then look up in the sky and see how the clouds are, how the sun is, and then come and tell me what you've seen.
I love that.
Right?
I love that so much.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So that's part of the African indigenous way of healing. And that's where the medicine woman in me was birthed. Yeah. So it's a good thing that my parents separated. I know it's not something to celebrate, but when I went to this ancestral land that raised me, my medicine just started coming out. It started seeping out.
Yes. It's in the spiritual community, and I think a lot of people are starting to open up to the idea that you choose the lessons in this lifetime, you choose the parents, you choose your caregivers, whatever. So it's something that you chose before, that event was going to happen, and then you're going to end up with a woman who's going to then raise you and guide you to be in touch with, nature.
Yeah. I'm so grateful for my higher self because she knew. She knew I needed to go through certain things so that I could understand. Because trauma is so insidious that someone could have internal thoughts of, there's something wrong with me, there's something wrong with me, I think I don't belong here. And then they imagine that they're alone. And if someone has not been able to listen to that truth that's bubbling somewhere here or maybe here, that person could stay disconnected for so long that their body starts dying slowly by slowly by slowly. Yet, now that I know the various phases of trauma, I've seen it even in the most minute spaces. I know what to do. I know when someone says that there's something wrong with me, I understand it's their heart that's looking to connect with this or this. Because none of our body parts exist alone. It's like the chakra system. If the crown is active and the sacral is shut down, then there's no communication.
Absolutely.
If the solar plexus is open and then the heart chakra is closed, then there's no communication, and which means that there's no connection.
There's no flow of energy because, you know, if whatever is blocked, energy doesn't flow.
Yeah. And so now that I know the various phases of trauma, that I've experienced some of it, I have witnessed other, I've listened to people sharing their own lived truths. Now I can clearly tell someone, hiya, you're not alone in this. You're not, because if you are alone, then your body would not survive. We are not meant to live in isolation. In fact, I love saying this so much. We are wired by biology herself, by nature herself, to search for connection, the same way our phones search for Wi-Fi.
Absolutely.
Connection.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So when we imagine that I can live in isolation by myself, I can live without other people, our bodies don't understand that. Our soft animal bodies always fight us on that. Because when we connect, again, like when we look at each other eye to eye as we are right now, our bodies perceive safety. So even the breath deepens. Yeah. When we see each other, look at us smiling and laughing, and we don't have to laugh about anything
if you're listening and you're not watching on YouTube, you're probably wondering what's happening. We're like looking at each other, and you know that's why we're laughing. Because there are people that consume audio only.
Okay.
So they're going to be like, what's happening?
Yeah, and so when we're laughing, we're releasing lots of tension, and our muscles just know that there's no lion chasing us. There's no leopard trying to pounce on us.
Because that's what it feels like. Whenever you have like a thought about threat or like I'm not safe, it really feels unsafe, even though nothing is really happening, even though, like you said, there's no lion. But really that's what it feels like to the nervous system, that it's like this threat, you know. And of course that comes from trauma, like you were saying, you know, like if you've experienced a lot of trauma, anything small, any disagreement between me and you, it's going to feel like a threat, especially if I'm not used to sitting with that discomfort. I'm not used to, my body's not used to feeling that, and I'm just feeling that heaviness of discomfort. It feels so unsafe for me. It feels like there's a lion.
It's a soft animal body that's interpreting the threat as this animal that's trying, this predator, let me use that term. This predator is trying to pounce on me as the prey. But anyway, with time I came to learn that trauma healing is not about undoing the trauma itself, because there's a fixation. Trauma is fixation. Fixating on, why did my parents break up? Why did my parents separate in such a bad manner? What is wrong with me? That fixation. It's about allowing the event to be what it is so that we can come back to the body. This soft animal body, this vessel that was gifted to us by our ancestors, by spirit, by nature, it's waiting for us to come back home. And when we come back, it's easier now to notice, okay, I feel lots of tightness. It feels like there's a rock on top of my heart. Because a parent's, like, divorce is not something that's easy to digest to a child. It's not something that you can even say that it was meant to happen. I know spiritualists, we like to rationalize things, but no, it's just bad, and it feels bad in the body. And over the years, I also went through the phases of thinking that there's something wrong with me, there's something wrong with my parents, there's something wrong with my grandma who loves me dearly. And it's because I was fixated on the event itself. And when you fixate on that, you rewire your whole body So now your body you become either hypervigilant or hypovigilant. So like you're not aware of what's happening around you. You keep stumbling into people.
Which one were you? Which one?
I was hypervigilant.
Hypervigilant.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, the next event it will find me ready.
I think I was I went to the opposite direction. Hypo.
The hypo one.
Yeah. Where like I'm not aware of whatever. And I feel like that has definitely affected me. I always joke with people that sometimes even driving, like direction sometimes is something that I struggle with because I think because of that.
I almost use a big somatic experience word, but I'll not use it. But it's part of that unconsciousness. When you say unconscious, it's just your body that's not aware of the spaces around it. Because you're stuck in the mind, fixated on that thing. And over time, I used to think that healing work should be me uprooting people from where they are, from their pain. Because that's a child's brain. A child's brain
take the pain away.
Take the pain away. So remove these people from where they're in pain and put them where they shouldn't be in pain. And that, of course, led me to hurting very many people. I'm so sorry if they're watching. I'm so sorry sincerely because I didn't know any better. So my medicine kept coming as a child. It kept coming. And then I'd suppress it because, again, I'm fixated on that parent thing.
When you say the medicine keeps coming, like, what does that mean? Right? Because somebody's going to listen. Like, I'm in this world, whatever, I can understand what you're saying. But, like, somebody maybe who's in their journey, they're in the beginning stages, they might not even understand what you mean by saying, like, the medicine kept coming.
So the medicine, let's go back to nature, where I was raised by avocado trees, where I'd go and swing, climb up there and watch sunsets, because our home overlooks the Aberdare Ranges. So I'd just go up in the tree so that I'd watch the sun going down. That was the medicine that was available for me. So anytime I'd miss to go outside and look at the dew and just see if the dew is a lot or a little and look up at the sky, I would collapse internally because the medicine is there, but I'm not engaging, I'm not immersing myself in it. I'm busy worrying and fixating on my parents' thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So years went by and I went through more of life things because trauma is now part of life.
Right.
I went through more of them, bullying in school, harassment here and there. And even in uni, I remember there was, I'm a techie, so I was like one of 5 ladies in a class of about 20 people. So a majority was men. And of course, I experienced a lot of misogyny and this patriarchal programming. And it kept hurting. And as I told you, the body just holds. It's waiting for the day you'll feel safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so one day my body just gave up. And I ended up in hospital.
Oh my God, it was so much. For you to end up in hospital, that's a lot.
It was a lot. It was holding a lifetime of trauma. And I remember the GP just looked at me, said, I want to check your blood pressure. And I was like, what's wrong with my blood pressure? Obviously, he didn't say much. He just said, I want to check it. And then I want to check how your heart is beating because I hear something. And I thought, oh my God, I'm dying. But he said to me, okay, so I've checked your numbers. I've just checked everything. And I'm glad that I've asked you a few questions about yourself because the symptoms that you're portraying, if I compared you to someone who is in northern Kenya who is starving, they're actually doing better than you.
Oh my God.
And I was like, okay, that's terrifying. And then he told me, these symptoms actually add up to something. And it's depression. And I looked at him and wondered, what is that animal? Because my body again perceived a threat. It was like, something is threatening my life. And I kept thinking, what's that? I don't understand what depression is. And I don't want to know anyway. It sounds like a big bad thing. I just wanted to go home. But something in me said it's time. It's time to start talking. It's time to free this part of your body that's holding so much. Because I used to imagine that one day my parents will come back together and then I will be okay. And they never did. So it was a whole lifetime of me being depressed and not knowing what I'm carrying within me because of all the pain that I was already drowning in. Anyway, one time in the same year, I just woke up and decided, yeah, it's time for me to break my silence. I may not know much about depression, but I know it hurts so much to know that my parents separated. And it hurts so much to be caught in conflict on a family level. It hurts so much to be a woman in a world that is not interested in my empowerment. And it hurts so much that I don't know what my life will amount to.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we bypass spiritualists, we have that habit. We think that I understand what my higher self is saying. And you see what I just did?
Yeah.
So we go up, and we exit our bodies. And then sometimes we come down and just dip our toe and realize it hurts so much. There's inflammation, there's pain, we go back up.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew it's no longer time for me to bypass. I have to start this critical conversation that I am hurting. And I'm not just in pain because of what is happening right now. I'm in pain because of what happened to me when I was 5 years old. I'm in pain because of seeing what that did to me and my sibling. And actually my siblings, I don't have just one. I almost erased one of them. Anyway, I realized that when I speak my truth, even my throat felt better. Even my heart felt better. My stomach had collapsed. It started awakening. I could even eat. Before I couldn't, because of all the pain. The pain had occupied every part of me.
Was it like you would eat and the food wouldn't be digested, or like you would feel pain eating? Or because I've met people that like it's hard, they eat and then immediately they experience pain in the stomach.
So I was experiencing it in different ways. There were times I could see food and feel overwhelmed. I actually couldn't eat. Other times I'd eat and have a running stomach. Other times I'd see food and get thirsty. So I'd drink water instead of eating. And so I lost so much weight, I could see my bones. And one of the things that actually made me realize that something was terribly wrong is that I remembered my grandma. She's the late now. May she rest in peace. I love her and we honor her presence. Yeah. So I remember my grandma always liked looking at my neck. She told me, you have very lovely rings. And when they start disappearing, something is wrong. So one day I stood in front of a mirror and realized that my rings were gone. They were gone, which means I was doing so bad. So I started looking for different foods. And I realized that I can't eat fast foods because they're making me nauseous. I can't eat food that's been cooked by another person because they don't know how I like my salt and oils and all that. So I regressed, like my memory regressed all the way back to when I was a little girl in so much pain, and the food that my grandma used to feed me. So the medicine was within me, even at that point. Yeah. And so I started making Agikoyo foods, some mokimo, some mashed potatoes, lots of beans, lots of greens. And that's how my stomach started waking up and opening up so that I could nourish my body and recover. Yeah. So when spiritualists come to me and say, oh, I think I already understand my traumas, I'm like, yeah, first of all, you're looking at the wrong thing because that's fixation. But what is happening here? I'm very interested to hear. Like, what is happening even when you do this? When you tap yourself. Could you try that with me?
It's like there's a sensation, I don't know how to explain it, but it feels like a sting.
Like a sting.
Yeah.
When I did this, I felt like pins were moving around. They're just pleasant pins. Yeah. And so this is what is real to me. When I touch my body, it's real to me. When I touch my cheeks, it's real.
What you're saying, that if I come to you, if I, of course I know that I experienced trauma and I want to heal my trauma, and I come to you and I tell you a story of like, okay, this happened when I was 12 years old, and because of that I think that's why like I'm experiencing a lot of pain. I'm depressed because of that. You wouldn't want us to focus on the story of what happened, rather what is happening in the body right now.
Yes, even as someone shares their story. So you see, it's very easy to tell a story because that is the brain speaking. Our brain is very good with narratives. This is why we write very wonderful reports and captions and all these things that we create using the conscious mind. However, our body is what holds our truth. Remember the computer that's holding the input? It's our body that holds it. So when someone wants to go directly into the trauma, the way we dive deep, when they want to dive deep, I already know the depth of their fixation. So we begin by slowing down. Okay, I know you want to tell me what happened to you in 1920, but is it okay? Is it okay if we just focus on where our feet are? Just notice, how does it feel like to have your foot on the ground? Do you actually even feel your feet to begin with? And that's a direct grounding. I'm earthing the mind that's wandering, that's looking for a timeline. I'm earthing it so that it knows that there's no threat in this moment.
Right.
And from that point of, there's no threat, so the body now perceives there's no threat. And then I always notice my clients doing this, and they're like, wow, I feel like I'm no longer in a rush.
Yeah.
I'm like, welcome, I've been waiting for you. Because your brain had gone somewhere else. So we've just brought it to the here and now.
Your brain had traveled to, because we always think that there's a past and future, right? We always think that those things are so real in the moment, whereas like they only exist in our mind, right? It doesn't mean that what happened, like you were saying, what happened to you is stored in the body, right? I get what you're saying, right?
Yes.
Because the mind, like whatever is in the future or past, that's just exists in your mind.
Yes.
The only thing that exists is right now.
Yes.
You and I in this moment.
Yes.
Right? So when you're telling a story, it's like you're trying to create a past that doesn't exist. Whereas like instead of that, bring us here to this moment in this body right now.
Yes.
But so now that I get what you're saying, doesn't the story help you then? It's not like you're, like, I understand what you're saying by fixating, but wouldn't the story then help you understand what to, as a practitioner, like what to address, like in the body? Like, like the story helps you anchor, like, what to focus on in that healing, right? Rather than, like, it's not like you're going to feed the story and be like, oh my God, like you just tell me what happened, like you're feeding the narrative of what happened in the past, but rather it's like anchoring, like, okay, we need to heal like an aspect, we need to trace where that is in the body. Like the story just helps you, give you what to focus on.
I like that. You're already understanding how somatic experiencing works.
The reason is because it's my own healing.
I see.
You know, when you heal yourself, when it's, you know, like honestly, a lot of my healing, I've done like a bit of hypnotherapy, very few sessions. I think I've only done 2 sessions of hypnotherapy, but a lot of my healing has just been me processing my pain and me sitting with my pain. That is why. That's why I can talk like that,
I hear
right?
You.
What I'm trying to ask is, you know, the importance of the story.
The story matters. Let me bring it back. Thank you for asking that. It's important. The story matters. But again, we start with this grounding.
Yes.
So that this body can understand that I'm right here in this present moment, because healing is in the here and now. It's not in the wondering, like, what happened in 1997, what's happening in 2025. That's a mind that's jumping timelines.
Yes.
So we start by stabilizing that mind so that we'll be able to digest the story.
Yes.
We get to it, but we begin with the body.
Body first. Okay.
Body first. Okay. And most importantly, nervous system capacity first.
Yes.
Because when we rush, we are re-traumatizing the body. We are denying the body choice. We are denying ourselves our agency. So when a client comes in and they want us to rush to that big thing, I'm like, okay, we'll get to it. So we'll get to it. But for now, is it okay if we just focus on how the chair feels on your back? Is it okay if we focus on how your hips are being supported by the chair beneath you?
Is that what they mean by titration?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's what titration means.
Yeah, and titration is also now in approaching the story.
Okay.
So a client will tell me that my parents separated and this followed. I'll be like, okay, is it okay if we pause and just notice that there's on one part my parents separated and then this and this happened, because those are things that are coupled. Is it okay if we just slow down and feel what the body is saying
When you say that.
when you say that. And in most instances, and it's so funny, people stop telling the story because they realize that the truth is held here.
Right.
And then they realize, oh, actually, even when I mentioned my mom, my stomach went into a knot. My shoulders
But like
came
I
back
couldn't, because I didn't give it myself a moment, you miss that message from the body.
Yes.
Because you're just focused on the mind.
Yeah. And then again, the mind is very good with narratives.
Ooh, mind is... oh my God, mind. When it comes to storytelling, narrative, whew.
Yes. And so I like
and it's so quick too.
I like doing this.
Yeah.
Where I put my hand here and just show, like I'm showing you right now. The mind only occupies this part. And this is like the conscious brain, which is thinking, planning, organizing. And just next to it is the amygdala, the fear center. And then just around there is the addiction center. Because the more we retell our stories, there's a cocktail of hormones that's released in our bodies.
Right.
So our bodies associate this retelling with the normal. Now we're back to the word normal.
Which you love.
Which apparently. So our bodies rewire around that pain, around the story. And we are left in chronic pain. We are left in, I am trying to manifest this, I'm trying to create this, but there's a blockage. The blockage is this. You're only using this part of your intelligence. So what happens to this other part? I like asking people that. When you only hyper-focus on this, what happens to this other part?
Yeah.
Then they tell me, it's never felt safe to be here. I'm like, thank you for your candor, for your truth. Because finally, we can meet the body where it's at instead of hyperfixating on the narrative. And then as we build capacity, then we'll go back to the story.
Right.
Then they'll tell me,
Right.
oh, no, I don't even feel bad when I mention that my parents separated. I just feel like the little child in me is hurting because he, she, they don't understand what is happening. And then we hold that little child together.
You know, it makes me think, because I think even though I've never done like somatic healing, I feel like in my own way, in healing myself, that's why you were asking me, like, are you learning somatic healing? But it's because I've done that work on myself. But it makes me think of, like I said, I've tried hypnotherapy, right? As you were saying, like the adult is fixated on the story, like as if the past exists right now when it doesn't. But I think what's happening, the adult, the reason why like the story, like you guys, of course, like as a somatic healer, you don't want to rush through the story is because you're telling a story from the adult perspective, from this grown person, whereas the person that was hurt was the child. So even when you tell the story, it's not like you're not in touch with the emotion, because you as the adult is not the one that you were hurt. It's the child that experienced that trauma, right? So I think like it's like allowing that child to come to the surface. Almost feels like, you know, when you take the pauses, is to allow the child, right? But because if you rush into the story, you are still in that adult.
And you're in analysis mode.
Yes.
And you're trying to understand.
Because you're removed. You from like the thing itself. You're just, it's the narrative that you just have in your mind.
Yeah. We've advanced so much as a human race that we document, analyze, observe processes, and then we turn that towards ourselves. So that's violent.
Yeah.
It is very violent because this body does not have words. It communicates through tension, through something hard, something blocking, something flowing, through pins and needles, through butterflies, through feeling like there's a knot in your belly. And then you use that big eye, the very advanced part of your brain, to look at the body.
Yeah.
The body perceives that as violence.
Yeah.
And so that's how we are stuck in chronic pain. Because as soon as the body says, I'm uncomfortable, instead of just adjusting how you're sitting, you're like, but I've already done this for you. You know, you've turned that research, almost research like focus towards yourself. And then the body it freezes again. It starts being inflamed. Your heart starts palpitating. You know, it beats as though it wants to exit through your ears and through any other opening that's in your body. So when we just soften that gaze and soften it and allow that hyper-focused gaze to be only at work, only then does our truth come to surface.
Yeah, that's so beautiful, because we were talking off camera earlier about how much we override. What you just said, you override your body a lot. Your body tells you something, but you go to the mind to like interpret, analyze what the body is already telling you. Well, like it doesn't. You don't need a story. You don't need an analysis of what's happening. And I was giving you an example of like times that I've like my body sent a message, but I'm like, I'm not even aware. Like, of course, like, and especially if you don't have awareness, you haven't been observing yourself, you haven't been listening, you're not going to hear.
Yeah.
You're not going to receive any messages that the body is telling you. And I was giving you examples of my own life where I'm involved in situations where, like, my body is telling me, this is not safe for us. This is not a safe space for us to be. But it's like almost like we treat our minds as more intelligent than the body.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
Because anytime someone comes to my healing room, I tell them, welcome to my healing space, where we awaken the ancient intelligence of our bodies. And then as we journey from the bottom up, we also allow this channel from the top down to come and meet in commune, because it's an information superhighway. Yeah,
I call it coherence. That's the language that I use.
I like that. But I like using the word superhighway because people can see what a superhighway is. And again, spiritual people, we use so much language that's up here that we forget to spiral back into our bodies.
Yeah.
So when I use such illustrations, it's easier for someone to understand that, a superhighway, there's a lane that's going this way and then there's a lane that's coming this way.
Yeah, I like that analogy.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we awaken that information superhighway so that even when the brain perceives danger that the body has not perceived, it can drop in just slightly and see, even my heart is beating quickly. And then the soft animal body parts of ourselves will start running, fighting, or maybe fleeing freezing if whatever is happening is too much.
If it's a true danger, you're saying.
If it's true danger,
Right.
And the other thing is we perceive safety through our eyes. And it's a neural perception. It's not just plainly seeing. Like I can see a potted plant that's artificial just on that side. And my mind already knows whether that's something that indicates safety or not. So I like bringing up the cats. Cats do this thing. When they walk into a room, they'll go like this. And then they look on the other side very gently, very slowly. And then they'll...
It's like they're orienting themselves with the surroundings.
Yes, they are. And through orientation, our eyes can already tell markers of safety. This is why you can't tell someone you're safe here. They have to perceive it.
They have to,
And they perceive it through the eyes. And the brain interprets, and then the nervous system says, that's actually
Is
a
it
mark of
just
safety.
through the eyes or the senses, like the five senses?
It starts with the eyes.
It starts with the eyes.
starts
Like, what
with
do
the
you see?
eyes.
First of all,
what
like,
do you see? And for people who are visually impaired, it's now the other senses. So it could be smell, it could be the ears. What do you hear? And depending on what they hear, there's one of those sounds that tells their bodies that they're safe. Yeah, so it's all our senses, but we begin with the eyes. So when a client comes with the fixation that they want us to dive deep into the stories, we slow down by coming back to our feet, and then we gently look around. And as soon as they just look around, even this part opens up to breath. So the breath, it deepens, and they're able to even exhale what was held. I got a referral a few months ago for someone who'd been in talk therapy for more than a year, and their symptoms were not moving. The pain was just there. It felt like it was stuck. And when they came in, they even in the first interaction, just that, is it okay if we just settle in where we are sitting? Allow your body to adjust as it needs. They told me that they felt instant relief. In most cases, talk therapy has its place. I like that we've honored that already. Yeah. It has its place. And it's very good because it focuses on the mind. The mind is what destabilizes entirely when the whole nervous system is at war with itself. And talk therapy supports the mind in coming back to itself, in stabilizing.
Yeah.
But there's deeper work that's needed. So if I was to imagine like a line, talk therapy could be the first intervention, and then the deeper work comes when the body is ready now to go in. Like the body now allows for the person to know, oh, I'm in pain here, I'm in pain there, because the mind has been allowed to process the big, big thoughts that were there. So when that client came to me, we went deep, deep just to be here. We deepened that grounding in the here and now. And they were able to feel much better. And then the story they wanted to tell me is not the story the body wanted to tell. So we listened, and this client ended up sharing something different. And I received it with so much gratitude, because that is the story the body was longing to tell. One of the things that our teacher tells us, well, I remember in one of the trainings in 2025, she told us that we come to somatic therapy because we want to hear the truth that your body has been holding for so long.
Right.
And in the various demos that we've sat in, the ones that I've seen with my own eyes and felt in my whole system, I realized that the narrative that the brain is telling is not necessarily what the body wants to say.
Because the body is the first point of communication, right?
Yes.
It's because we're not in touch. We're more in touch with like mind stories or whatever. So you miss the body, and then you first get the communication from the mind, even though the body already communicated with you, but you missed it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I'd like to bring us back to children. I just feel like Spirit says children, bring them in, and it's good.
They're perfect examples.
Yeah, children communicate before they even speak.
Yeah.
They'll cry. They'll keep doing this thing. Like, you're wondering what's happening.
They're uncomfortable.
Yeah. And then their skin and their bodies will get so hot. So when you touch, you're like, oh, my child is burning up. This is a fever. But adults, we're continuously beaten into forgetting our bodies. You're in primary school. You want to go to the loo, but you're told you only go to the toilet at this hour.
So crazy.
Right?
Yeah.
So our bodies are programmed from a very young age for us to distrust the intelligence that lives here, which has evolved over millions and millions of years, so that we can come to the mind. And then the world is structured around the mind. Right now we have artificial intelligence.
Yes.
We have social media that is on 24/7. We have all these shows. We no longer need to tune into NTV, KBC. I don't know. I even forget. We don't need to tune into TV. You just go to YouTube and choose whatever you want at whatever point of the day. So all that is built around the mind and the narratives and all that. So when you ask someone, what was the last meal you ate? They don't know, but they know the last show they watched. What does that tell you? That we have been rewired to only exist in our brains, specifically the neocortex, where the thinking, the planning, the analyzing happens. And so this intelligence, it stays unmet. And our nervous system is very wonderful, because it's not only connected to our brains, it actually spreads from the back, and it's almost like hugging the front, because it's taking a lot of details in. It's checking the core temperature. It's checking the tensions and the fluctuations of what's happening. It's checking how, like for women, how our menstrual cycle, hormones are moving. It's checking whether we are ready for sex or not. It's checking whether we are hungry or not. But we live in this part of the body. So this part stays neglected. And so when someone says that, I don't feel hungry, I usually don't even sleep, I'm usually very interested to know what they're watching.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because again, you scare your mind gets scared because maybe you're watching too much horror movies, your heart starts palpitating, you're not in touch with that. But this palpitation tells the body that you're in danger. And then it signals the brain that actually we're in danger. So you can't sleep.
Yeah.
And then in that cycle of cortisol, you wake up in the morning with an alarm. We talked about the alarm. And then you're like, where am I? So that's already a spike of cortisol.
Absolutely.
And then I boarded a matatu today, and they were asking me some questions. I'm like, I just want to get to where Bamzi is. I don't care about all these questions. And then that's already another spike of adrenaline and cortisol. And then you wake up and drink tea, drink coffee, not really to hydrate the body, but because you're addicted to the substances that are there,
The stimulation.
that's there, so your body is already spiking more and more cortisol and adrenaline. Cortisol stays in the body for 24 whole hours. So if you keep getting multiple shots of the same hormone, it means that your body is already drowning in cortisol. I remember when I was experiencing high cortisol, my face was swollen a lot. Yeah, and when I started detoxing through now taking less tea, I love tea. Taking less tea, going on more walks, starting with a very quiet morning practice, even my body stopped being so inflamed because I finally paid attention. So in somatic healing, I essentially teach my clients how to pay more attention to their bodies. And through paying this attention, this fixation starts ending. It starts releasing, it starts dissolving. And then the identities that we've built around this survival, because it's easy for me to keep saying, I was raised in a home that was broken.
Yeah.
And I'll use that as an excuse for a lifetime.
Yeah.
That becomes a survival identity.
Absolutely, because then that means that I don't need to take responsibility. Right? It allows you to be in the victim consciousness because, this happened to me and that is why, that's why everything is going wrong, right? Because like when you're in that victim consciousness, like there's no responsibility there. Right? You can blame something that's outside of you.
Yeah, and it's very easy to do that because we're looking for clutches.
Yeah.
We're looking for them so that I can keep saying, I can't walk straight because I need to lean on this thing. And I've had these stories and I've had to let people go from my life because of that. Yeah. Because my healing is so disruptive that someone who is not actively healing will feel like I'm either trampling on them or taking more space, or they'll start feeling some type of way. And because I have been in that place before, the place where I want to rescue someone, again, uprooting them from their pain and bringing them where there's no pain. And that has hurt me and hurt them. And that's also, it's a sense of violence as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So anytime my healing just levels up, I know there are people who will not level up with me. And I have come to accept that.
Yeah.
Because my mission here on earth is it's too great, it's too important for me to betray it.
Yeah.
For someone who is not doing their work.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I wanted to go back to what you just said about the importance of making sure we understand what's happening with us. Like you give an example of how you've cultivated a lifestyle of, making sure that you're taking care of yourself in the morning with whether it's walks and the routine that makes you be in touch with your body, right? We talked about the alarm, how both of us don't use alarm. I don't use it. It's too shocking in the morning. I don't need to be shocked. Yeah. But I wanted to talk about people that's what they need because they have 9 to 5s, right? They have busy schedules. They need to be somewhere because they need to make a living. And that is the reality for a lot of people, right? Who it's like right now they're not able to just relax and wake up with no alarm or whatever. But for somebody like that, maybe they're listening, they're wondering okay, they sound so calm and regulated and whatever because they have the luxury of doing that.
Amen.
Right? But I have to wake up at 5 because I have to commute to go to work. I have to be in the office. How can I cultivate? How can I take those practices so that I because a lot of people are stressed. A lot of people are not in touch. They're living in survival. But because they need to do all of these things in order to take care of bills or whatever. For somebody like that, how can they start to implement those things, those somatic practices, small somatic practices, so that even if it's not a full-blown thing that they're doing, it's something small to bring them back so that they're not feeling like they're surviving, they're being threatened all the time. They're rushing, they're on edge. Because that's a lot of people's lives.
Yeah, and that's
the literally majority of the people, that is just how they live and exist.
Yeah, they do. And that's their normal.
Yeah.
So when they come to somatic, I teach them the somatic way. Yeah. So the word that comes to mind right now is micro.
Micro, yeah, that's why, small things, small practices. Yeah.
Micro practices. For example, just gently placing your hand on your chest.
We are now placing our hands on our chest if you're listening. Yeah.
And maybe noticing the contact between your palm and your chest. What's the pressure right there? Is there something hard, something soft? Is it cold or warm?
I noticed that I'm like pressing so hard, and I'm like,
uh-huh.
I just noticed like I'm putting so much pressure. Like no need to put a lot of pressure.
So those are some of your words.
Yes, I just noticed that I was just like pressing so hard. I'm like, why?
Yeah, and my instruction was place your hand,
Yes.
not pressure.
Not press so hard.
Not press so hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's no need for pressure. Those are your words, and that's wonderful. And maybe even notice if you can sense your heartbeat right where your hand is. I can sense mine.
Yeah.
And it's like do, do, do.
Mm-hmm.
And then do, do,
Yes.
do, do. What about yours?
Yeah.
A similar pattern?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do,
Mm-hmm.
do. Wonderful. And now maybe notice, oh, your breath. Okay, it showed up.
Yeah.
But just notice also like this part that your hand occupies. Is it warmer or colder around your chest?
It's warm.
It's warm.
Mm.
Mm. And are there words coming up for you as you notice this warmth?
It feels loving.
It feels
Like
loving.
just placing the hand on the heart feels loving. Yeah.
It feels loving.
Yes.
I feel comfort. Almost like a mom holding a
Yeah.
little child.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it feels like to me.
Yeah.
And then we can allow the hand to travel if it's ready. Don't force it. If it's ready, it can release. If it wants to stay a bit longer, allow it to. Yeah, my hand says it's ready to move.
So that's a micro practice.
It's a micro practice.
That it seems like I feel like if you're not used to do this, if you haven't been even in touch with yourself, it's you're in the beginning, it might not feel like it's much.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm speaking from experience. So like when I started my journey, like if you had told me to do something like that, I don't think I would have felt what I'm feeling now, right? But the reason why I'm feeling what I'm feeling now, it's because I've been practicing, been healing myself. But for somebody in the beginning, because you need to do like a certain level of work
To be able to connect.
Yeah. But the micro is a starting point. It's so important. Like even if it doesn't feel like anything in the beginning, because it might be easy to dismiss and be like, oh, I didn't feel anything. But if you keep at it, right? If you keep those practices and be consistent, and like the importance of micro is that it's something that that is sustainable.
Yes.
Right? Because if you just go grand, it's going to be too overwhelming, especially if you're in the beginning and you haven't done anything.
That's true.
But micro is so important. And I even when I started my journey, I just used to meditate for 5 minutes. And the micro is just to build that consistency. And with time, you start to see the results.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't expect to see like the results just by one. But I think it's important to establish and cultivate that practice.
Yeah. As you're sharing with me, there's an image that's coming to mind of this superhighway. We're back to it.
We love highways.
Yeah, because of the nervous system. In this superhighway, our mind travels at a very high speed. I forget the actual speed, but it's there are scientists who've actually done the research around it.
Yeah.
And micro practices are actually meant to decelerate. Is that it? The opposite of accelerate?
Yes.
To decelerate at a slower pace.
Yes.
So that our nervous system does not get shocked.
Yes.
When it gets shocked again, it's like a lion is chasing you.
Because when you do something quickly, a grand thing, it doesn't feel safe for the nervous system.
It doesn't. And this is why in somatic experiencing, we don't do catharsis. There are lots of spiritual practitioners who want us to go and scream and shout and do all these big releases, but the body is not primed for it yet.
Yeah.
For example, if I was to journey with a group of women or even men or a mixed group, and we are building towards a big release, we would journey for almost 6 months together because the first 5 months will be for building capacity in our nervous system.
Right.
Through the micro pauses, through the community healing experiences, and the rapid fire healing. So that our body has more opportunities to release what it's holding. So that when we're ready to scream, we can now scream fully, and we are screaming to release what is ready to move. And then we come back.
That's what I was asking about titration earlier, right?
Yeah.
It's like you build that capacity slowly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm also getting an image of that person who has to wake up at 5 a.m. because I have relatives who live far from the CBD, and their workplace is in the CBD in Nairobi. And so they have to wake up earlier, get ready earlier, and then they have to stay in traffic longer. Then they go to work, and the usual stresses and conflicts in the workplace
with
happen.
your boss, co-worker.
You know?
You were stuck in traffic. There's
Yeah.
just so much stimulation. There's so many things that will throw you off.
So many. So each person deserves to offer themselves these micro pauses.
Right.
The micro pause to decelerate that quick mind. To decelerate that quick mind long enough for you to notice, oh, my belly is tight. Then you're like, okay, maybe I need to hold you. And then the belly says no, and you're like, okay, I'm with you either way. And it's, I'm using words. I'm using words to translate how the body communicates. But the body communicates through tension, through temperature changes, through knots. Sometimes people say that I feel like I'm in a cave, so they'll do this. So the body communicates through such subtle movements that when we just pause long enough to notice the subtle movement, then the words come. That's why I asked you, are there words coming up for you? And you said, oh, yeah, there are actual words coming up. Because our body also does the translating for us. It's so interesting.
My body was like, why you putting so much pressure on me?
And we do that subconsciously.
Yeah.
Because especially as African people, we wield so much power in our hands because of fetching firewood, fetching water, carrying babies.
And I'm a person that I exercise. I lift a lot of dumbbells that I have at home, so it's not like I don't go crazy hard at the gym. But I think I'm used to that. So like my body was like, why?
So there's a pattern that was disrupted. And that's a good thing. Yeah. So we pause like that micro practice. There's also just noticing, are my hips actually balanced? Because sometimes, because of working on computers, we do this thing. We lean forward, and then as women, we have some weight up here. So our center of gravity lowers even further. It's upset. So we keep doing this, and then we bend our heads. So it's almost like we are falling, but we're not really falling. So the body is like wondering, where exactly are we? And as I do this motion, my body is looking for my center of gravity. It's reestablishing it again. Oh, thank you for your patience. And so I like inviting people to just lean back, to allow the body to adjust itself. Because the body, in its own intelligence, in its own way, knows how to come back to balance. It knows that even if I sit like this at work, I know I have that moment at this time. And this is because you've practiced for so long. I have that moment at this time where I come back to center. And when I'm back to center, I'm not under threat anymore. So anything the body was holding, it just releases.
Right.
And this release is where healing is happening. This being present with what is true to us, what our body is saying to us is what heals. Being present in this moment. There's a reason why it's called present.
Presence, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The divine didn't orchestrate that for nothing, because if I gifted you something right now, you'd slow down and
try appreciate and of course say thank you for the gift. And it will take a moment for me to just appreciate what you've given me and thank you for it.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's a pause. It's a somatic pause, because you've received, like you've opened your arms to receive. And then you're like, oh, wow, you've looked at it, orienting. You're like, oh, wow. And then you look back, just the way I'm doing. And then we keep connecting through eye contact. So you're like, oh, I see, this is a wonderful thing. Oh, I see you. And then because I hold eye contact, so people are not used to that, get freaked out. Yeah, so I hold eye contact and you meet me again and like, yeah, you see me too. And through that, even without opening the present, we have healed. So healing is not a one-time big event. It's not what is sold, what is packaged through marketing, that come for this 2-day retreat and you go back home. Well, it's not that.
It's a day-to-day practice.
It's actually a moment
To moment.
by moment practice.
Yeah.
And it's not just practice, it's experience. It has no words. It has no words at all. And through somatic experiencing, we awaken the ordinary miracle of healing. Because healing is a birthright. Divine gifted it to us. Nature herself, she's like, I am waiting for you to connect so that you can heal. I am waiting for you to come to me because I'm always waiting for you with open arms, here loving you consistently. This is why disconnection is a lie.
Yeah. So that's really, really beautiful. Like the idea that healing is moment to moment. So I want to focus on that. And to just expand on that example of like somebody who's, you quote unquote, they tell you they're so busy. I'm sure you work with clients like that,
Yes,
who are
I
like,
do.
if they're not having like busy jobs, they have kids or they have people that they're taking care of, or they have something that keeps them, they feel like, oh, I don't think I have a moment to even do that micro practice. Because people think like I don't, like even literally 30 seconds is enough to start. But there's a perception that like I don't have time for that. How do you start to like help people understand that you do actually, like even at work, when you take your lunch, you can take like a minute out of that.
Right.
When people have come to you that tell you that story of like, I want to heal, but I really don't think I have the resource, whether it's like time, or like I don't have a space where I can go take myself where like there are no other people, because sometimes it's better when you're in private and you're able to take that moment. How do you start to help somebody like that understand that like think you have, what you say that you don't have, you actually have
You
that.
do.
It's
You
just
just
that
don't
you
see
need
it.
to change your perception and see
Right?
that you have those moments.
Yeah, so I begin by disrupting those thoughts, because those are thoughts. The mind cannot see that time. Like I'm glad it just came to me. The best example.
Yeah.
I always begin by drawing a circle. Oh, I am an artist. Oh my goodness, I forgot to mention that. I'm a multidisciplinary artist, which means I borrow many different bodies of knowledge to create this medicine. So I begin by inviting them to draw a circle, and then we divide it into like 3-4 halves, depending on how their day is. I wake up at 5 a.m., so there's a line that begins at 5 a.m. and ends at whatever time their work ends. And then I travel to G where we map out everything that's there so that the brain
they
can see. And when they see it, they start realizing, so you mean I spend 2 hours in a matatu commuting, and those 2 hours I do nothing for myself. I just listen to the
I'm
nonsense.
on my phone. Or, I'm watching videos on my phone. And that's time you consider that you don't have time.
Right?
Because you don't consider that is time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we start with something simple. Simple as just looking. Not looking. Looking is too much for someone who's not used to practicing. We start by listening. What can you hear? They're like, okay, I hear the driver speaking. I can hear someone's TikTok account. I hear a baby crying. But I also hear something else, and I'm very interested in that something else. They're like, it's like there's silence somewhere, and I'm like, that's the silence within you.
Yeah.
So go there.
Yes.
Go there. Just hold it, kidogo. Hold it just a little bit. That silence, and then release it. Because again, there could be another fixation. Because this person is used to being on one extreme, I try not to bring them to the other extreme. I bring them to the middle.
It's just like an in touch, just a taste of...
Yeah, just a taste. And then they'll come to me in the office and say, Wairimu, last time I tried what you shared with me, what we practiced here, I tried it in a matatu, and in as much as it was noisy, my mind picked up on silence, and I stayed with it for a moment, and I felt so good right here in my chest. I'm like, oh, wow. You felt it.
Yeah, that's a big
It's
realization.
a big, right?
Yeah.
And then they're motivated to practice more micro poses. So it's really about disrupting the thoughts and then bringing clarity through art.
Yes.
So that this person can stop imagining all the excuses that their mind comes up. The mind is very good with excuses. So they can stop imagining and actually work with reality. As soon as they see, they realize, I actually have like even 5 minutes. Tell them you don't even need 5 minutes, you need 1 minute.
Yeah.
And sometimes if it's really bad, because there are people who come to me with attention deficits, I tell them, okay, so let's make technology work for you. Let's use a reminder. You write exactly what you're going to do. I have a reminder myself as well. A reminder for, come back to your breath or do this breathing practice. And for me, it's usually just focusing on whether I'm exhaling. Because sometimes, because I have big capacity, because of doing a lot of healing work, sometimes I forget to exhale.
Hold your breath, right?
Yeah, I hold it.
Yeah,
and
I
when
do that too. Yeah,
and when I
sometimes.
do, my chest starts coming up.
Yeah.
Because the holding becomes too much.
Oh, for me, I clench my jaw sometimes.
You clench your jaw.
Yeah.
That's a lot of tension.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have that. It's at, I think, 3 p.m. or maybe 1:45. It's either one of those two that reminds me, come back to your breath. And I'm tapping. And when I come back to it, I'm like,
yeah.
Wow.
You realize you are holding a lot.
Yeah,
I do that all
and
the
even
time.
right now I was holding one.
Yes. I do that all the time. It's like exactly what you just said. I remind myself, I'm like, come back here. I always come back here. Like, here's the word that I always use for myself.
Come back.
Yes, come back here. Like, I always just remind myself to. And I realized that, I was clenching my jaw. I used to grind my teeth because as children, when you're experiencing, you feel unsafe. I felt unsafe as a child growing up. You find like a coping mechanism. They're like, maybe you're sucking your thumb. That's like a soothing. Like some children suck their thumb. People wet the bed. Different ways that the child copes. And for me, it was grinding teeth. So I grew up like grinding my teeth, even into my adulthood.
Oh.
Even I went to the dentist. It was 2 years ago. Because I had started to observe that I'm grinding during my waking day, and when I observe that, I can stop it. But at night when I'm sleeping, I can't stop it. So the dentist was like, "Oh, you grind your teeth," and I'm like, "Oh, it was like, no, you did not stop. You were grinding your teeth at night," because they realized that they can see that you're grinding your teeth, right? So they were able to give me. Like a mouth guard that I use so that I stop the grinding at night. But the clenching of the jaw is linked to the grinding of the teeth. It's also linked to the throat chakra, actually.
Yeah, maybe you were not able to express.
I was not able to express as a child, right? So I was bringing it back to the clenching because I catch myself doing that because it's something that has been with me for a really long time. So every time I'm like catching myself like I'm clenching, I'm like, come back. I have to remind myself to come back here.
Ooh,
yeah.
I love that, come back here. I think I'll use it somewhere.
Yeah.
The other thing is that I love bringing people back to the ancestral medicine.
Yeah.
As a medicine woman, I have seen a wide array of ancestral medicine in Kenya, from the Agikuyu community where I come from. I also have roots in the Luo land, so I've observed that as well. I've observed different parts of Kenya, in Nairobi, in the coast, in northern Kenya, in Nyeri. I mean, I've traveled quite a bit, and then I've observed Africa and realized that our tools and what belongs to us is so medicinal that when we separate our identity and say, I am modernized, we are being violent towards ourselves. So I like doing this. I don't know if you'd like to join me.
Okay.
Like a gorilla.
Okay. What does that do?
We are communicating to the vagus nerve.
Oh.
Just telling it that it is safe to be here.
So it's like tapping almost.
Yeah, it's almost like tapping, but it's a gorilla.
Oh, it's like a gorilla. Because I do the butterfly one. But so this one is like it feels different.
Right?
Yeah. It kind of feels more impactful, I guess, because the butterfly one is like softer.
Yeah, it's like, oh, baby
Like,
girl, you okay?
This is where I go every time. Like I get activated. Every single time I get a little activation or like I just feel like that threat. I always go to the butterfly.
Yeah,
and within like 30 seconds, I'm already yawning.
Because you're now contacting the whole body, but this is focused. And it came up because There are many people who are
So
angry
this, you said, specifically focuses on?
on anger.
Okay, what are we doing actually for
We
somebody
are
who's listening?
allowing. Oh, yeah. Thank you. We were headed there. We just got distracted by the
Yeah.
butterfly tap. We're just awakening our bodies to know that it's okay to be angry. When that boss is unfair to you, you have every right to be angry. What you don't have a right to do is attack them, because ethics, the law. But when you do
You
this,
don't want to be arrested.
you don't want to be arrested because you want to make money.
So is this a micro practice then? You're
Yes.
saying this is a micro practice?
It's a micro practice. Just to allow that anger to come. Right now I'm feeling so hot in my body. It's part of that release. It's part of that. My body saying, oh, it's safe for me to calm down. And you see, we've naturally stopped.
Yeah.
So we allow emotions to be what they are. There's this word I hate hearing. Oh my God, hate is a big word, but it's my truth. I hate hearing people saying, I want to control myself. I'm like, that is even colonial violence.
So you're like, if they're feeling angry, it's like they want to control the anger.
Yeah.
If they're feeling sadness, anxiety, they want to control that. Yeah.
I don't like that word at all, because it awakens the colonial kind of
the control,
oppression and control. And we have that memory in our body.
I think, so for me, when somebody says that, what I think is they hate this part of themselves. They because you view it as bad. Like you want to control something that you view as bad.
Yeah.
Something you don't accept, right? This is unacceptable. It's something bad. I don't want it. Therefore, I want to control it, right? That's how I see it,
and
right?
That's the implication of it. I remember, and it's funny that it just came up. Oh, thank you. So
I did set an intention for things to come up that other people need to hear. People that need to hear this. Yeah.
I feel met properly. Thank you.
Yeah.
So my first ever client for somatic healing, and I experimented something. We mentioned the word stress, and then the natural word that came after was management. So I asked my client to
stress management.
Yeah, I asked my client
to. But that word is like, I'll help you stress your
manage your stress.
Like it's a thing that's marketed.
Yes, and that's a very violent way of marketing the healing service. So we somatically listened to the words stress management. My client told me, I'm feeling like I'm being boxed in. I'm feeling like I can't even breathe properly.
Oh my God, I had never thought, because I still see it. The stress management is really something that's sold.
Yeah.
It's something that I still see up to now, but I guess I hadn't thought of like how violent it can be.
Yes. Our bodies do not want to be managed.
Right.
When we try to manage them, we're being violent towards them. And you're being distrustful of this ancient intelligence. And I remember just listening to her and asking her, so now that we have explored the somatic way of, being with our bodies, how would you approach this stress management thing? They told me that, you know what, I wish there was an alternative word to it. Maybe stress awareness, maybe stress something, but not management. But now that I understand it better, I know if I am angry, I can give myself an outlet. Our body is looking for an outlet because sometimes it's too much pressure. Or you have this bill, that bill, the other bill, you have children, you have your parents who are aging, you have this job that you've worked so hard, you want it to mean something to you, and it's not giving what it should give. And she told me that, I prefer to just say that I am aware that I'm reacting in a big explosive way, and that is not to be managed. It's to be allowed in various spaces. So we started separating what is the space for healing and what is the space for work. And when we did that, they got clarity. They decided that, okay, in my room I'll make a corner for myself where I can come and practice these healing tools, where I can come and be with myself. And then at work, I can allow my body to let me know what's happening. And as soon as I get a break, I go and be with my body for a few minutes, and then I come back to work. Be with my body for a few minutes and come back to work. So the micro practices are not meant to be done just once.
Yeah.
You do them repeatedly through the day. Again, we decelerate the running mind so that the body can communicate with us. Our bodies can communicate with us. And since then, the things that this client used to struggle with, they came to a natural end.
Yeah, because I think what you're touching on, like what keeps a lot of people stuck is a lot of what you're talking about is self-rejection. Every single time you reject an emotion, you reject something that's coming up, you're rejecting a part of you, right? By honoring that and allowing the outlet to happen. If it's anger, because if you don't feel your anger, you're going to become angry. And the goal is not for you to, it's feel the anger, release it, and not become angry. Become like, you're walking as an angry person, right? And that is the difference there. But when you self-reject is when you become angry.
Of course, because your
Right?
body will react to that. It will be
Right.
saying, why
Yeah.
are you judging me?
Yeah.
The word judgment dropped in as well.
Yeah.
Because we are meant to judge situations.
Yeah.
For example, if I get 2 contracts, of course I'll judge, is this one paying me more or less? What are the terms here? What are the terms here? Okay. What kind of a working environment do they provide? And if they need me, do they need me to be there or can I work remotely? We are meant to judge situations, not our bodies.
Yeah.
When we judge our bodies, again, the colonial violence awakens.
Yeah.
And, we carry so many memories that our minds consciously cannot access. It's the body that remembers. And it remembers through the holding.
Yeah.
So I keep tweaking the language because one of the things I've done in my research work, I'm a published peace leader. But one of the things I've done in my research work is in building a healing language. Language that understands that trauma is part of life. Trauma is the normal life. Because we live in a trauma-organized society. It's organized around colonialism, around corruption, around the ethnicities, the ethnical divides that are there. It's arranged around the division between genders and sexes, you get? So we really cannot fix the whole system.
Yeah.
And if it was meant to be fixed, probably it would have been fixed by now. So I start teaching people how to be where they are, but with their truth.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
For someone to know that I don't need to make an excuse for my mind. Someone came to me saying, I am ADHD. And I was like, okay, you've labeled yourself. Those are just traits. But you've taken it on as an identity.
You've identified with that. And once you identify, there's nothing to do.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I've accepted this is what it is. There's nothing to be done about it.
Yeah. And then they start asking me, so can you recommend me this and this and this? And I'm like, first of all, and it's very good for me to mention, I do not recommend medication. So when you come to SE, we don't work with medication.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's a different, you need
somebody else that's psychiatry. Yeah. And with psychiatry, it means that you've traveled through, there's a whole pyramid of how someone travels through with their crises, who they meet first, where they go, and all that. And so because I am not a psychiatrist, so I can't recommend medication. And if a client of mine is under medication, we work within the hours when they're not medicated so that I can meet their nervous system and assess and know where they're stuck. And then we can start bringing awareness in micro moments so that even when they're medicated, there's a memory. There's a memory that's there that there's nothing wrong with my mind. It just needs support for now. Yeah. It might not be forever, but it needs this support as I prepare to descend back to my body. Yeah. So I like that. I like bringing this disruption of fine.
I think it's so important.
Right?
The disruption is so important because what we often do is we just accept that this is life and that's just how it is without understanding that you can literally disrupt. At any moment you can just shift. But people that work on the thought level, you can shift for thought. People that work on the body level, you can shift by listening. They're taking like 30 seconds to listen. That's a disruption, right? There are different techniques, like even like you were saying, touching yourself, whatever, it disrupts whatever, like you've normalized as this is how it is and this is me and this is my life. I think we box ourselves into that, the identity,
the survival identity.
The survival identity, and that's what keeps us stuck, not knowing that that's just, it's because you've accepted that is the reason why like you're stuck in that.
Yeah, so I'm just getting an image of someone. I'll not describe them so they don't feel. But I've remembered interacting with a spiritual woman and just listening to them, inviting them to my healing space, and then seeing what happens when it's time for them to make a decision. Because I told you, spiritual women especially, we move so far up that we are no longer in contact with our bodies. And when the invitation to be in contact with our body comes in, then we are under threat. And I just remember explaining to them that it's not I'm not trying to say that, I'm not saying there's something wrong with, there's nothing wrong with you. It's the patterns, the thought patterns that are there, the imagination that you'll come to me and I'll try to fix you. In somatic experiencing, we don't fix, we don't force, we don't push through. So I made that clear, and then I told them that take your time so that your body senses the safety, and then you allow yourself to come to my physical healing space. Otherwise, we'll keep playing like Tom and Jerry. You're running, I'm running after you. And then I stop running, you start running towards me. And then as soon as I'm ready for you, you start running again. Because that's a thought pattern. It could be that at one point when they were searching for support, for help, or looking to be met, they were not met with compassion. Maybe they were not met where they were. Someone was asking them to rise to a level where they were not. And I can't know for sure what is happening with them unless they tell me.
Right.
So I told them, Mimi, I will not run after you. I will not try to impose anything. When you come to my healing space, we work with your nervous system on that day, in that moment, not before you got to the office, not before or after. No, right here, right now. And that is what allows your truth to surface.
Yes, I absolutely love that. I had a similar conversation with the hypnotherapist, and that's exactly what she said about, like, this is where we start because it's so important, you know, because I think the fixation on, like, what happened or, like, what's going to happen, it's just here.
Right? It's the mind.
It's just in the mind.
Our minds want certainty. And for the life of me, I can't give anyone certainty. I can't even give myself certainty. Because what I'm certain about is that this is my body. This is the body I am in. This is the vessel that has traveled through bloodlines to be here today. So this is my truth. And if anything happens to it, I know my body will tell me what to do next. My mind wants to know that how much money will I make today? How much money will I make tomorrow? Where will I go for vacation? Who will be my next client? Will I get a celebrity? You know, the mind wants to know all these things.
Because the mind was there to solve problems.
Yes.
But solve problems that it's creating. Creating imaginary problems and trying to find, like, crazy solutions for those problems. And then, so it's like the mind creates the story and then it makes you experience, even though you haven't. That scenario hasn't happened. Literally, it's just you're having a thought about your money running out. It's just a thought. And then your body's feeling that threat of the money running out, and you're having that experience even though it hasn't happened.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I like that you brought that. I just saw the lines in it. Sorry. My eyes they're very open at this moment. But yes, the message from here downwards, it travels very quickly.
Absolutely.
And because even the what is it called? The lymphatic system is controlled and managed from parts of the brain. When the brain just senses danger, the amygdala, it goes off. It's like an alarm. You know, how do I explain this? In the building, which is like wired to sound an alarm and have a light going. So the amygdala does that. And as soon as it does that, the brain starts instructing the body, release this hormone, release this hormone, release this hormone. So the message travels so quickly that we become destabilized from one thought.
Absolutely. Like, as I've worked, because now I'm more observant of, like, the sensations that I get in my body, you know. Like, whenever we've talked about, like, money trauma, we're talking about yesterday we were together, we were talking about money trauma and all of those things. So part of my money trauma has been, you know, whenever, this is just an example of how that mind and body communication, right? So, you know, in my journey to heal myself and heal my money trauma, whenever like I would go to the supermarket, you know, and I have the thought of like, oh my gosh, I just paid for that. My money's running out. Immediately, my body would feel. Whenever I pay, my body feels a contraction, right? Because it's like the mind. It's telling the story of like, oh, you're not safe because the money is running out, and then there's that contraction of the body.
It's interesting
And I
that you're not
noticed-
just contracting, you're also pulling away from me.
Because I'm contracting away from you. I'm showing you how like that's how like I've felt, because now I observe it, right? Now I observe when I see that contraction, I can clearly feel it in the body, and there's just that quick communication from the mind to the body, and it's like the body's sensing that threat that the mind is like, it's not safe. It's not safe because you've spent this. It's not safe, and the body is feeling that.
Yeah, funny you should say that, because
Yeah.
I keep hearing spiritual girlies talking about, I'm manifesting big money, and I'm like, keep manifesting. But does your body know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just,
Mm-hmm.
I find it weird, so to say, that the mainstream spirituality has seeped even into people like Africans. We're actually connected to our bodies. It's just that there's that lack of awareness of how the body actually communicates sometimes. And other times it's just that we're shut down because we are surviving too much. But when the mainstream spirituality tells you that manifest, 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 in the AM, in the PM, during the daytime, at night, and then your body is reading this manifestation as a threat consistently, so you keep doing the work, but it's almost like you're marking time like this. Because the nervous system does not believe it's safe for you to have money, to hold it. It's not just about having money, it's about holding it. Your nervous system does not believe it's okay for you to have a certain amount of money, but you're calling it. It's like you're making a direct call to Providence and saying, I need 7 figures right here, right now. And then Providence is asking you, if I give you that 1 million, what will you do with it? Because your nervous system is not ready for it. So the conversation is like, imagine a child telling the mom or the dad, Dad, give me 1,000 bob, give me 1,000 bob, give me 1,000 bob. And then the parent is asking, what do you need it
what are you
for?
gonna
But the
do?
child keeps saying, give me, give me, give me, give me, give me. That's the thing. That's a loop of thoughts. It's if I would like draw it, it would be like this. Round, that's looping in within itself. And until we are willing and ready as spiritual beings to break these thought patterns so that we can be with our truth, I don't think we can hold wealth. I really don't think so. I've also had instances where I'd go to the supermarket to get 1, 2, 3 things that I need, and I actually need them because I can't live without tissue, I can't live without soap, I can't live without roll-on, the basic needs. And I'd be like, this one is costing 100 bob, okay. This one is costing 200 bob. And by the time I get to the counter, I'm like, oh my God, I don't think I'll manage to pay for this.
Yeah.
And so I'm activated, and my body believes that we don't have it. Even when the money is there, my body still says, yeah, something is wrong.
Yeah.
So when you keep sending these signals of being unsafe, being under threat consistently, it's hard for us to stay connected to Providence and to our divinity and to the part of us that remains untouched by trauma and pain. Because that I always say that for me, that is where my hope lives. That one part that was never ever touched. Because that's my connection to the all that is.
Yeah, the source.
The source.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we want to go back into our bodies and then go so deep in our anchoring that we not only anchor in the physical realm, what we can see, we anchor even through the spiritual layers, and then we get to our source, which is at the core of us.
Yeah.
So you can imagine, we stay asking, I want. But the body is like, you want, fine, but come back here. Let's tap a little bit so that we can awaken a new memory.
Yes.
Let's rewire. I'm just remembering yesterday our tapping experience.
Yeah.
And our bodies stay activated. We want big money. Like, I love listening to people manifesting money.
Yeah.
We want big money, but we don't want to do the work.
Yeah.
And for us to even, by the way, the other thing that's dropping down for me is we want money, and money is there for us. What is missing is our nervous system capacity. And as we widen our capacity, we'll actually hold more wealth than we can even imagine. So nervous system work is missing, it's necessary, it's needed, and I am doing it. Clearly, you're doing it as well. I can tell.
Yeah, that example that I just gave of, the noticing, it's because I wouldn't have noticed that I'm contracting, first of all, like if I wasn't doing the work, right? So it's like that awareness is so important, because it's like you're able to catch it instead of identifying. Because if you're not observing, and the mind tells you like you're not safe, your money is running out, you identify with the story, you go with it, right? But that's not what's happening, right? And the body feels the threat, and you go with the threat, and you identify with the threat, you identify with the thought, you become one, right? But if you build that awareness, you're able to separate. You're like, that's an old story. I'm not being threatened. I'm fully safe, right? So it's so important, I think, to build that nervous system capacity, to build that awareness, so that you can identify the crazy stories that the mind tries to tell you.
Right? Our minds they're very good. They'll go haywire, telling you that this is this.
Yeah.
And then I'll be like, okay, I'm just thinking of a reception area that holds people. You arrive and then you're at the reception. When we do our practices, we create a reception area. We're like, okay, the thoughts have arrived. Okay, just sit there kidogo. Let me connect with my breath first. And then those thoughts actually, you can't identify with them, because you've now created a separation.
Yeah, because if you're listening, you're paying attention, you're observing the breath. You can't observe the breath at the same time hear a thought, whatever thought, right? Like your attention, the attention is directed at the breath. Your energy flows to the breath. There's disruption here. Yeah.
And then when you disrupt the pattern, something new emerges.
Yeah.
So that's the other part. I get this question and I don't like it, but I answer it anyway. Wairimu, how many sessions do I need to heal? I get that question a lot. And I'm like, I know where it's coming from. It's your mind that's looking for certainty.
Yeah.
Even if I told you need 4 sessions, I still have to know where your nervous system is.
Yeah.
I still have to know what's your default. Because sometimes I just sit back and listen to my clients and I'm like, wow. And then I'll invite them just to pause just a little bit. And then I'll ask them, what has activated you? Because you've spiraled, what has activated you? Is it the mention of money? Because that's a big wound. It's the wound of poverty. Is it the money conversation? Is it mentioning your mom? Is it mentioning whoever you're seeing? What is it? And then as soon as they identify it, the disruption begins. So I'll tell them, okay, you were saying something. Would you like to go back to it? They'll be like, yeah, no, I don't want to go there. I've just realized that this is what I want to share with you. And I'm like, you see, it's so simple, but it's also very fine. It's nuanced. It's very nuanced that I have to teach you to disrupt those thoughts. Because if you don't disrupt them, then the patterns continue. And the more they continue, the more pain you're in. The more pain you're in, the more you can't hold money. And I told you this yesterday, I raise and nurture clients who hold big money.
Yeah.
You'll not come to me and then you start earning only 1,000. You'll be earning big money because we are rewiring your whole system.
Yeah.
And expanding your capacity.
Yeah.
So for us to get there, we have to do the actual work.
Right.
The real work of admitting that, yes, I have spiraled. Yes, I have started thinking about the future again. Yes, I now notice that my mind is stuck on something. And if it's stuck now, I know how we can get unstuck as the helper. And someone has to stay faithful to their journey. Because the somatic healing journey defines itself. For example, when I began my first class in January 2025, I didn't realize it at first, but I thought that I'd still be the girl who was apologizing for her own existence, apologizing for her gifts, and even almost begging people to sign up with me. And those are people-pleasing tendencies. I lived in environments that were so, what's the word? It's not coming. But these environments, it's not toxic. The conflict was so much that I had to navigate through a family system that has been built over years to even find a space to catch a breath. I used to hide a lot. And if anyone tried approaching me, I'd just be overstimulated because I wanted to be with the avocado tree.
You weren't safe. Like the avocado tree was what was your safety.
Yeah. And I couldn't access it when when our home was full of people. So being raised by a matriarch meant that everyone came home. And by everyone coming home, then the spaces that I could sit and relax, sit and just be with my pain, and then come back to connecting with people, they were a bit sparse. And so I grew up with that thing of, yeah, I could do that for you. It's okay. Maybe there's something wrong with me. It's okay. But immediately I finished my first immersion in January 2025, I felt like that part of me that was false dissolved. And it dissolved because our facilitator invited us repeatedly. On the first day, she invited us into the circle. On the second day, she re-invited us into the circle because the mind is not used to that cyclical power. It's used to the hierarchical one. You know, like there's a boss that I look up to, there's someone here, and then there are a few people here, and then there are people who are looking up to me. So that consistent reminder brought me back to my wholeness, to what already is here. Here.
Yeah, I see you burned the word. What is here?
What is here?
Yeah.
And what is here is me, Wairimu. My gifts in connecting different bodies of intelligence to create medicine. There's this part of me that is very social, that wants people to get better.
Yeah.
Because I got better and I have my evidence that's stored in my body.
When you get better, you want to other people to get better.
Right?
Yeah.
And there was also this deep desire to birth something. I just didn't know what at that point, but now I know what it is, what was waiting to emerge.
Yeah.
And I don't know how long it has been waiting to emerge. I'm like, oh, thank you for your patience. Thank you for waiting for me to find the right help.
Yeah.
So that I'd be able to birth what is coming through and to expand my nervous system so that I can also hold wealth.
Yeah. Oh my God, Wairimu, this beautiful, beautiful work that you do with people, and especially, you know, in this day and age where there's so much stimulation, as you were talking about, technology, AI, all of these things. People have busy lives, so much stimulation, and people just need those little reminders, little disruptions to come back to what is true, to the present moment, through the body.
Yes.
It's so important, you know, for somebody who's listening, because I think we are closer to, you know, it's almost 2 hours. For somebody who's listening, what would you say to them? Like they feel so stressed. They feel like they don't know where to start. You know, they feel like I don't know how I can help myself. What would you say to them?
I would say that regardless of the stories that you're stuck in, your body knows how to heal.
Yes.
It is encoded by nature, by the DNA and the blood that flows through your body, and all the ancestral wisdom that exists in you.
Yeah.
So your body has the resources for you to heal.
And you have the capacity.
And you have it.
Yes.
The other thing is that you have the capacity to reach out to me and book a healing session.
Yeah.
Because this is the work that I do. This is the work that I support. So that more people come back to their wholeness. And then they reawaken their healing system, which is waiting for them to just come back to the here and now.
Thank you. How can they find, if somebody was like, okay, I'm ready because I want to feel as regulated and as calm as you sound. I just want to, want to get there. How can they get in touch with you so that they can work with you?
Okay. So I'm on social media. It's at Wairimu Raps, head raps, not rapping. I don't know how to rap. Raps. So Wairimu Raps, that's a thing I do. It's a practice, a cultural, grounding, spiritual practice for me. And I don't know if I should give my number on air. Maybe you'll write it on the caption.
I'll put your details, your socials. So you're on social media. They can get it either in touch on Instagram
on
and
Instagram, TikTok. In case they are on Twitter,
and you have a website, right?
I have a website. It's wairimu.com.
Okay, so we'll take all of your socials and I'll put them in the description. Wherever you are watching, if you're watching on YouTube, it's going to be in the description. If you're listening on Apple and Spotify, it's also going to be in the description box, so you can get in touch with Wairimu.
Yes, come, let us heal. Let's reawaken this ordinary and rapid kind of healing that's already encoded in us.
Yeah, absolutely. Like when you heal, like she was saying, as she's healed, as I've healed, what I want for people is to understand like the beauty of being on the other side, where you're operating from a regulated nervous system. It feels amazing. This morning I was just thinking, you feel so free. There's not so much conflict happening within, there's not so much crazy stories going on in the head, because when you unclog yourself, you cleanse yourself of the trauma, of the emotions, this energy is flowing, you feel a lot of freedom. It's amazing. So like what we want for you is for you to be able, and this is something you can do for yourself, starting with micro practices, working with Wairimu, in order for you to get to a place where like you are actually, whatever you're doing, whatever career you're at, you're truly enjoying your human experience.
Yes.
Because that's what we want, for you to have a beautiful, it doesn't matter what you do, as long as you live a life of freedom within, a life of like regulated, you're just operating from a calm state. There are no threats happening like on a day-to-day basis, because that's what it feels like. You're not on survival mode. That's what we want for you. So I hope this resonated with you. We would really, really appreciate if this resonated with you, to give us feedback, to also leave comments if you're watching on YouTube, if you're listening on Apple and Spotify. Give us comments, rate our podcast. It really, really helps us to boost our podcast, because these are so important conversations that need to reach more people, because we want to help more people.
Yes. And we want to come back to wholeness.
Yes.
And connection.
Absolutely.
Connection is what sustains us.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much, Wairimu, for coming. It's so beautiful to just witness how much, like, the work that you do, like, what it does to a person, right? And I feel it. I kept telling you about your energy. I kept commenting on it. It's because of how much work that you've done to get in touch with yourself. It's very, like, it's something that I feel, right, by just being in communion with you. So thank you so much for sharing your medicine. And I really hope that it resonates with people, and I hope that they reach out to you so that they can work with you.
Yes.
Thank you for having a conversation with me, and until next time. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. We will see you next time on the Art of Being podcast. Thank you.
Oh, we did it.
We hope today's conversation resonated with you, brought you a sense of clarity, and maybe even challenged you to reflect further on your healing and spiritual journey.
If it touched something in you, would be so grateful if you left us a 5-star rating on Apple or Spotify. And if you're on YouTube, share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your reflections or suggestions for future topics.
You can find our socials and email in the episode description. We always love hearing from you. Until next time, take gentle care of your soul, mind, and body.